Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Tuesday Evening Happy Hour with Back to Basics Dog Training. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Leon. I'm the trainer here at Back to Basics Dog Training, and each and every Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I bring to you this live free dog training session where any question is on the table regarding your dog's behaviors. So, with that being said, for those of you who are joining me, please put down in your comments that you're here. Let me know you're here. Give me a shout out. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching later on the replay, please do the same. It does my heart good. And of course, if you have a question, guys, just type it in the comments. And the more questions, the more comments I get, the more jacked up, the more excited I get, the more I want to just keep going. So get your comments in there. Let me know you're watching, where you're watching from. With that being said, there's a couple of topics of the week I want to bring up until I start seeing some questions come up. The first one I'm going to talk about is a friend of mine on Long Island was in a situation where she was out walking her dog, and another dog, neighborhood dog, jumped the fence and attacked. Good morning, Rachel, all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you'll get some valuable information out of this. Please, guys, share this information out with your friends, relatives, fellow dog lovers around the country and around the world. The more people we get on this, the more we get questions, the more we can help and help me live up to my motto of helping one family and one dog at a time. So, or one dog and one family at a time is really how it should go. Um, so, getting back to the situation, so they were walking in their neighborhood. A dog jumped the fence and attacked. And unfortunately, guys, this happens. And, people ask me all the time, well, how would I handle it? Have I ever been in that situation? Yes, I've been in that situation, walking my dog, walking a client's dog. And we've had this. Hello, Trixie is doing well today. She did have a meltdown last night, but it was easier to get her under control. Beautiful, Nancy. Thank you for filling me in on what's been going on with Trixie. I'll get to Trixie training session in a little bit tonight, unless we start getting some questions. I had the privilege of working with Nancy and Trixie yesterday. We had a great session as far as I was concerned. I hope Nancy feels the same way. Based on that, we had a meltdown, but it was easier to get under control. So Trixie's starting to learn some of the new rules, which is great. So people ask me how I handle the situation. Well, one, in my position, I've seen a lot of dogs come at me off leash that are just happy-go-lucky goofballs, and I read their body language, I feel their energy, and I understand that right away. But I've had dogs come at me that are not the happy-go-lucky goofballs. And the first thing I do, and I know it's hard for people to do with their dogs because we love our dogs and our goal is always to protect our dogs, is one, drop the leash. Especially, and I hate saying it, even with little dogs, the biggest mistake we make when we're dealing with these situations, especially with little dogs, is we tend to pick them up, and that creates that prey drive, and then the human ends up getting bit. And once we get bit, we really can't help our dogs. So by dropping the leash, gives them a fair chance. First of all, they can defend themselves, or they can get the hell out of there very quickly. Yes, it's a problem because then we're going to have to go find our dogs. They may go into a chase mode. To God forbid, get hit by a car. I understand all that. But if I'm holding the leash, I can get tangled up. My dog, who would have a flight reaction, can't get away. They're trapped. They're cornered. The other thing I do is I let the dog try to get close to me. And it sounds crazy. And what I'll do is I do stay calm, because if I feed into that energy, I'm going to create more of a problem, and I understand that. And then I will grab the dog by the scruff of the neck, and I will pick them up with their big dog off their front legs. But I'm not doing that with anger and frustration, and that's the key. And I'm not doing it out, oh my God, I got to protect. I have to stay. You have to stay calm. I pick them up and I try to hold them in a mother's hold, if that makes sense. It kind of unlocks their brain, but also by grabbing them by the scruff and holding them out at arm's length, they can't turn to bite me. I have control at this point. Now, granted, there's a difference. I'm 6'5", 225. I can physically handle most dogs that way. Um, Reality is also, if I don't feel like I can do that and I need to protect, I'm going to kick, I'm going to punch, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to keep this dog away from me and my dog and my pack at any given time. But the hardest thing to do, and I've been in these situations, guys, so I'm talking about this firsthand, is I react calmly. I stay in my calm space. I stay in my confidence space. My 4 C's: calm, confidence. Um, One, because if I'm calm, I can assess the situation a lot quicker and a lot clearer. If I get frantic, if I panic, if I do anything, my mind's not working in the right way, so I can't assess the situation. One of the comments I saw on the Facebook post was mace or pepper spray or whatever. It's a great idea. It's a great concept. But guys, be careful with that. One, if you're downwind and it gets in your eyes, in your mouth, in your lungs, you're not going to be able to help your dog or help yourself at that point. And it could actually take that. Yes, the spray may get in there, but the residual effects can get on you. That could be dangerous. If you're walking in an area where you know there is a lot of off leash possibilities or dogs that are reactive on the other side of the fence and have the capability of jumping a fence, one of the things I always tell people to do: carry a walking stick. You can use it as a blocker. You can use it to hit the dog if you have to. Um, there's things that you can do to prevent it. Carrying mace is one way. I'm not a big fan of it. It can definitely hurt. Accurate with. Thank you, Will. Will is a retired police officer, so he's kind of gave me 100% agreement on the pepper spray. You got to be careful with it. One, you should be trained on how to use it, as far as I know. And again, Will, you're probably more suited at this than I am. Um, there are some states that actually outlaw. I don't know if it's pepper spray or mace or vice versa or whatever, because if used wrong, it can actually hurt you. And if you have any type of asthma or breathing conditions or anything, it can really hurt you badly. So just be careful with that. A walking stick is a great tool, guys. Um, you can use it for multiple things. Keep your balance. Um, Use it as a blocker when you're walking your dog, keeping your dog at a heel. You can use the walking stick. If you spray, you're going to get cross contaminated. Absolutely. Um, if you're walking, you want to keep your dog next to you, you can use your stick as a blocker to keep your dog at a certain, at your knee or whatever you're working with. It's a great training tool, walking stick, if used properly. Um, Walking stick Will agrees, is a great idea. Marianne, welcome. I don't recall seeing you here, so I'm assuming this may be your first time. What if my own dog is going crazy over seeing a dog and pulls and biting on the leash? How do I stop him? 100-pound dog. Okay, this was going to be part of my second subject tonight, so we're going to talk about it because we have the question here. When you're dealing with your dog with leash reactivity, reactive towards another dog, it could be excitement, it could be aggression, it could be whatever. I don't care, it's all the same. One, again, I'm a big believer in energy. Energy is the best training tool that I have in my tool bag out of all the tools I use. So that's one. Your energy needs to be calm. If you're not calm, if you're tense when your dog sees another dog, your dog is going to go into a guarding posture. They're going to sense your tension and they're going to get tense themselves. So the hardest thing for us, because we know our dogs are going to react, is go the opposite. Have the energy. You're not going to react. Um, the whole way to stop leash reactivity with your dog, there are multiple ways out there. I actually lost the training session because somebody doesn't necessarily agree with my methodology on it, and that's fine. I'm never going to say my methodology is the best. It works for me. It works for my 1,000 customers, but it's not going to please everybody, and that's okay. Um, One of the things I would suggest, Marianne, is always start your walk before you leave your house. You're calm, your dog is calm. If you haven't, I'm going to put it up here, guys, for you. If I can find where it is. The QR code that I just put up in the upper right hand corner, Marianne, if you haven't been watching with us before, is a QR code directly to my YouTube channel. If you scan that, it'll take you directly to my YouTube channel. Uh, Subscribe to my YouTube channel, everybody. There'll be some real good videos coming up in the next week or so when I head up to New York to do work with a resource guarding dog. We're going to put up some real transparent videos, guys, so you get real world. So if you're not a member of my YouTube channel, please scan that QR code and subscribe to my page. Set the little belly alarm thing, so when I post new videos, you'll get notifications of them. Because next week I'm heading up. So starting next week, there should be some good videos popping up randomly, some lives coming up. But getting back to this, Marianne, go to my YouTube channel, find my playlist, How to Leash Train My Dog in 5 Easy Steps. It's really mastering the walk back to basics style. Um, and episode 2 is about threshold management. Threshold management is the most crucial part of your walk, not the outside world. Getting out to the outside world is the most crucial part of your walk, period of the discussion. And I don't care what anybody says on that. And what I mean by threshold management is you walk out your door first and you invite your dog out following you, but only when they are in a calm state of mind. If you can't get them out through that door in a calm state of mind, the rest of the walk is going to be at a higher state of mind than you really want to deal with. So anything can trigger a negative reaction. Okay, so that's beautiful. So if your dog, I don't know if you guys are seeing the comment. Um, Will, thank you for the compliment. Great training videos. Um, if your dog Marianne goes out through the door like a lady or a gentleman, I forgot if you said it's a boy or a girl, so I'm going to be politically correct here. Didn't say so. I can't get in trouble. If they go out the door like ladies or and gentlemen, that's great. Stop the process there. Close your door. Everything stays calm. I broke the walk down to structure. So episode 3, 4, and 5 are about structure. And what that means is the first third of my walk is about healing. You're with me. You're not smelling the ground. You're not exploring. We're traveling. We're going from point A to point B. There is no deviation on this. The reason we do this is we need to be in control on the walk. We don't want, if they're sniffing the ground, they're stopping to smell the roses, they're controlling the walk. If they're controlling it, they're controlling everything. The other thing I tell you to do is if you see another dog coming, one, check your own energy. Breathe in the roses, blow out the candles. Slow the whole process down. Watch your dog. You're walking, if they don't have any distractions, they got this nice gait going, they're prancing because they're happy. And at that point, start watching your dog's body language. Wait for the slightest change in the body language. So they could be going happy go lucky, you won't say that, oh, dog. Right there at a low level, make a slight leash correction, which is just a pop of the leash. Boom, no. Or whatever discipline sound you're going to use at the same time as doing the little pop of the leash. Something on my shirt. Pop of the leash with your firm discipline sound, and then give them another job. Sit. And then watch them. Try to get them to focus on you. You need to be more relevant in this process. This is where, if you choose, guys, I'm broadcasting here. If I am, please let me know. Um, Guys, somebody put in the comments, let me know. I got an error saying I dropped my connection. Let me know if I'm still here and if you know, where I broke off. Um, that's kind of weird. Will, if you're still there, just shoot me a comment. Let me know if I'm still live here. Lost you for a second. Okay. Everything looks good now, guys. I hope. Um, love modern technology. So, yep, you're up. Okay, good. Hello, Bonnie. Okay, but I can wait, but I can get the bunnies, cats, anything. It surprises me. He drags me. Yeah, you got to start it in a controlled environment. you and that's hard to do. So if you know he is reactive to dog, that means it's the prey drive, the thrill, the chase, whatever it may be with him. Ask a friend or a neighbor that has a dog. Um, I wish I would have queued up the video to show you how I do it here at Back to Basics when I deal with leash reactive dogs. Um, what I do is I'm going to use Zoe as an example. Is we brought Zoe to a job where we were dealing with a leash reactive dog. My daughter was with me. She was on one side of the street. We were on the other side of the street, and our goal is just to pass each other, not walking with each other, just passing on the opposite safe distance. And what I do at that point, she's down the street, so I know she's down there. I know where she is. I come out with the other dog. I know where she is. We got a great pace going from the door to the road. We come around the turn. The dog, Marley, that I was working with, sees Zoe, and I saw the change. I made my correction. Marley didn't take it very well, the light correction. So I actually made a little bit harder of a correction to unlock the brain. What happens when they get into these mindset, guys, and this is where what I was going to talk about. There are the positive reward trainers that use treats and do this type of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that in most cases. But when a dog, and basically what I'm understanding from Marianne here, is when that dog gets so focused on this other thing, you can wave a raw steak under their face. They're not going to care. So the reason we pop the leash is to unlock their brain and get their focus more on me. So if you do the timing right and you do the correction right, which is just bam, the dog should actually sit there and say, "What?" Sit. But do it in what I call a controlled environment. You, Marianne, use a friend or a relative or somebody who has a dog that you can work with. First, work on it on the more common things, which is the dog. The rabbits, the squirrels, and all those things that are unknown entities is too hard to control. Cats are too hard to control. But I can control the environment with another dog. And once we establish, hey, this is how you have to react to another dog, it's easier to get that control with other animals. And again, I'm going to use my dog Zoe as an example. She's part hound dog. Her prey drive is very hard. When we had the yard up north, anything in our yard, squirrels, raccoons, rabbits, birds, whatever, she went after them. That was her instincts. She never really caught anything, so I didn't care. But when we're walking, it's different. A squirrel can walk literally a foot in front of us, and she's not allowed to react to it. But how did I teach her that is anything. When we're out on a walk, I'm very diligent. I'm looking, not always seeing. Sometimes I get surprised, but I'm looking for those things that may trigger her reactivity. And I would actually be like, yes, challenge accepted. And I go towards that stray cat that I saw. Or if I happen to hear the rustling in the woods of the squirrels, I go towards those areas so I can teach all any dog I work with, that these things need to represent calm. But if we're not calm, they can't be calm. If we're tense, if we're like, holy crap, another dog, they're going to be that way. It's no different. Will, I'm going to pick on you a little bit right now. When Will's walking Ace through his neighborhood because of his background of being former military and former police officer, he hears noises. He's guarded. That's his training. That's, instinctual for Will at this point. But what Will noticed is that Ace was actually sensing Will's tension. So Will had to internally check himself for the benefit of Ace. So when you're walking, what most people do and dogs are easier when we see dogs loose or on a walk or in a yard or whatever, they start tightening up on the leash and they're getting ready and they're tensing up and your dog is sensing all this. When I worked with Trixie yesterday, Trixie is a happy-go-lucky, cute little dog. Every dog in the neighborhood, every person in the neighborhood is our best friend, our BFF. So we went to a house with one of our BFFs who was behind the yard, and she just wanted to play. She wanted to play. And we're saying this is unacceptable. I need you to understand, Trixie, is when you go past Lexi's house, You have to be calm. So it took a couple of leash corrections for me to get through to her brain. She was still the happy-go-lucky goofball. Because remember, when I talk about using a physical correction with a dog, the physical correction is not designed to hurt, scare, or intimidate your dog. I know there's trainers out there that don't believe in the method of physical correction, and they will say physical correction is an abuse. Physical correction can be abuse if you're doing it with anything but calm energy. If you're doing it to hurt, scare, or intimidate your dog, you're abusing your dog. I make corrections on my dogs, and my dogs are the most balanced dogs you'll ever deal with. The dogs I work with are very balanced. I corrected um, Trixie yesterday. She was still my BFF by the time I left because she appreciated the discipline. So the pop of the leash is not designed to hurt, scare, or intimidate your dog. It's to unlock their brain, saying, "Stop focusing on this other object. Focus on me. Read more my energy. My energy is calm confidence. I need you to be the same way." And then we just kept going past this fence where Trixie, yeah, I think it was Trixie. Trixie was, and eventually, wait, me and my dogs mixed up. I was working with Trixie. Um, where Lexi was, and Trixie stayed calm. So I brought her closer to the fence. She got a little bit excited. We corrected. We slowed down the process. She got to the fence. They were fine. Lexi was still a jumping bean. She's got a lot of energy, that girl. But eventually, I brought her um, into the yard where originally, because of the energy of Lexi and energies, the excited energy of Lexi, Trixie was afraid to go in there, from what I was told. At first, she wasn't, but then the play got a little too rough, and she got very insecure about it. I brought her in. Both dogs were on leashes. I didn't let them go until I saw they were calm. I dropped the leashes. Well, Jessica and Jeremiah, welcome. Um, when I dropped the leashes. First, the dogs didn't know they were off. The leashes were dropped. Then they started playing. And the play escalated to a high level of excitement. Um, and I was able. I stopped that excitement. I grabbed the leashes, controlled both dogs, got them both back to calm. Waited a few minutes so they stayed in the calm state of mind. Dropped the leashes again. The second time, it took a little bit longer for them to get to the excitement. Now, mind you, these are both puppies. I think one is 7, 8 months old. The other one's a little over a year. So they're still both puppies. Stop the process again. After stopping it the second time, we all noticed that the dogs were coexisting in the yard without playing. They were together. They were happy to be together, but they weren't doing the roughhouse. And that was great. Nancy said we walked by Lexi's house this morning. Lexi was out with Nash, was there too. We walked past probably 9 times doing the leash correction, but the 10th time she walked past on a loose leash. Beautiful. And that's teaching her how to react to these other distractions. And this is the same thing. Why isn't my thing moving? There it goes. That Marianne, you need to do with your dog. So that's why I said get somebody you know with a dog so you can work with them. And I wish I could load up the video, but I can't do it while I'm live. I have to have it set before I do this. When I worked with Marley, who was reactive, Samantha and I just kept going this way, and we just kept passing and kept passing and and slowly we closed the gap. After my hard correction, because what was happening is I was doing this, no, 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 and Marley wasn't getting it, was not getting it. So finally, what I did is gave Marley, I always say 5 feet, 11 and a half inches of leash to go towards Zoe. And then I made a harder correction. Again, not too. He doesn't care if I pop him. He's too strong. I had to train to kick him out of training. Oh, kick him out of training. Wow, I just got to the kick part, got scared. Because he couldn't handle him. Okay, so I don't know if you've used any tools If you're objective, first of all, Marion, where are you located? If you're here locally in South Carolina or up on Long Island, I may be able to help you with this because I've never had a dog that we can't get under control when they're leash reactive. There's just no. It's if a trainer kicked them out, I'm sorry. That tells me the trainer just doesn't understand the psychology of a dog. Because if we control the mind, we control the body, and calm confidence convinces dog Maryland maybe I'll hit you on my way back. But I'm going to put my contact information up here, Marianne. And anybody who's not watching from one of my normal areas, um, this is my contact information on here, guys. Um, Anybody who isn't watching from the Carolina areas or Long Island area, who is interested in having more of a one-on-one than me trying to just do this where I can focus on you and your dog. I do offer Zoom training sessions. I've helped hundreds if not thousands of people via Zoom. I've helped hundreds of thousands of people via this platform. It's understanding energy, understanding how your energy can fix your dog with guidance. So you can text me at the 803-415-6970 number or email me at info@backtobasicsdogtraining.com. There is no such thing, unless it's a neurological disorder, guys, dogs can be helped. It's understanding what they're communicating to you. It doesn't matter if they're a 2 pound Chihuahua or a 200 pound St. Bernard. That's a overweight St. Bernard, but you got the point. I handle them the same exact way. Calm, confidence, consistency to get control. Those are the four C's of dog training in my world. But the key two are the calm confidence. Any other energy can and will not help you move your dog past these behavioral issues. But the whole entire walk has to be based on calm, has to be based on structure. The reason I say the dog should heal the first third of the walk is because you're in control. They're thinking, their mind is going. What are you going to do next? You're going to make left hand turns, right hand turns, figure eights, do the hokey pokey, turn yourself around. This dog is following you. They're thinking, okay, what are we going to do next? Without the excitement, one, they start becoming mentally tired. Mentally tired dogs are easier to help move forward because they're not going to fight with us as much. But everything has to be based on you. That's why, like this person that canceled the session with me, and again, I have no ill will towards her. I hope she gets the training she needs to help her dog because that's all I care about. Um, is corrections are necessary in animal world and human world. Corrections are discipline, punishment, whatever words we want to use, guys, are important. It's how we administer them. And like I've said before, if you do your correction, a physical correction with your dog, and it hurts, scares, or intimidates your dog, you are abusing your dog, period, end of discussion. I don't care. If you only say no to your dog and do not teach your dog how to get a yes, you are abusing your dog. That's reality. My goal, my mission, my passion is to turn every single time I work with a dog and turn that no into a yes. When I do that, the dogs are happy. They're balanced. And if it takes a little leash correction, again, it's not hurting, it's not scaring. Nancy can attest to it. I corrected Trixie yesterday. I gave leash corrections yesterday. Trixie wasn't afraid of me, wasn't intimidated, wasn't anything. I worked with Will and Ace. He can attest. Nothing I will ever do will hurt or intimidate your dog. I don't care if I'm using different training tools. Marianne, one of the training tools I would definitely recommend may be a prong collar to you. Prong collars are not abusive, people, if used properly. Tools that are used wrong, that's abuse. Um, he is good except this. He was a non-trained rescue. He started biting at the leash and tugging. He wants to go. I use Sprangles. He could care less. You may need to up the game. You're using the prong collar. So again, unfortunately, sometimes guys, these dogs' necks, because of some of the corrections, build up. They become desensitized to them. And again, that could be because we're not timing our corrections properly. One of the things I always tell you that, like I started in the beginning, Marianne, is look for the first sign. I know when you get caught off guard by a squirrel or a rabbit, game's over. Then it's by any means necessary. But if you do this with another dog, look for the earlier signs. If you use a 0 to 10 scale, 0 being asleep, 10 being Satan's child, and that could be aggression, excitement. So to me, it's just a stupidity scale. That's what I call it. I know that's not the most politically correct thing in the world, but hey, that's me. Um, it's easier to correct an unwanted behavior at a lower level. So on a normal walk with no distractions, no nothing, most dogs are about a 2 because they're happy. They're going for a walk. If there's no excitement involved, and you can tell by their body language. Then, when we see the other dog, what I tell people to do is start watching for that slightest change, and don't try, do it. Break that concentration. Bam, right then. No, sit. And if your dog is food motivated, this is a good time where you could use treats. You put the treat by the nose to keep them focused on you, away from the other dog, away from the other dog. They're looking at this, smelling the treat. And I'm going to tell you now, Marianne, and this is something I'm going to 99.9% guarantee. When dogs are reactive, they're using eyesight. They see the other dog. They're not using their nose. Their nose is more important. But if you can start getting that, breaking this vicious cycle very early in the process, what you will start to see, if you can keep them in a calmer state of mind, is you'll start seeing, and then that slows down that reactivity because then they're starting to use their nose. They're gathering sense. Oh, that's just Fido. Fido's cool. They're using their nose. If they use their eyes, they get in trouble. I see that all the time. Um, so if you get a high value, good smelling treats with you, boiled chicken, low sodium hot dogs, cheese, whatever, as long as it's healthy for the dog. And if you stop this cycle, so you're walking and you see that change, soon as you see that change, you make your correction with your firm discipline sound, calm but confidence because you're in control. Sit, assert, being assertive. Put the treat by the nose, bring the head towards you. Hold the treat, hold the treat, hold the treat. They start focusing at the other dog, use your leash, boom, no. Put the treat closer to them, let them smell, let them use their nose, let them use their nose. Dog passes, yes, give them the treat. It teaches them as something different. Eventually, you do want to get rid of the treats. I'm not a big treat person, but if you're having a hard time and you're struggling with it, if you have something that's a high value, a good smell that can unlock the brain, because that's all we're trying to do, to get them to look at this situation in a different manner, it works. If my next suggestion would be, and this I would say you would have to get a trainer to come to you, is definitely look at an e-collar. Um, it kind of ups it a little bit. I know they're a scary concept. There are shock collars versus e-collars. There is a different world here. Do not buy a shock collar. Do not let anybody put a shock collar on your dog. We don't do shock therapy on humans. We thought it was a good idea back in the 60s or whatever it was. It ain't such a good idea. Um, a good quality e-collar, Dogtra or e-collar technology, our stimulus collars. It's no different than the STEM unit or the what I think it's called the STEM unit that physical therapists or chiropractors use on humans. It's the same sensation. And what it is, it's just a different sensation than that constant feeling of that the prong collar. He huffs. He goes from 0 to 90. I have an e-collar. I'm too guilty to use it. Again, Mary, reach out to me. What brand e-collar is my first question I would ask you. Um, Reach out to me. Like I said, Zoom session guys are extremely affordable. I mean, it's $75 for 2 hours. And I can teach you how to use the e-collar so you're not going to hurt or scare your dog. The tools will never, ever, guys, period. Tools will not hurt your dog if used properly. So there's ways to e-collar condition a dog. It's not the way you think it is. The way I do it. Because the way I do it, it's worked. I have no problem with it. As a matter of fact, I just ordered some more. One's go to New York with me. Two, I think I'm not sure if we're still looking into doing that, but we will definitely be doing it with Ace. To me, if the e-collar is used properly, guys, it's a leash without the rope. The ones I use have a half a mile radius if there's no buildings in the way. So it's having a half a mile leash. That's pretty freaking cool in my world. And I have total control with it because I use it as if I was using a leash. A leash doesn't hurt the dog, so neither will the e-collar. But there's ways to make it a better. They shouldn't be afraid of it. No tool should they ever be afraid of. A dog should not see a prong collar, an e-collar, a leash, or anything come out and be afraid of it. That's my whole theory with the squirt water bottles is they become afraid of a plastic water bottle. Why is my dog afraid of anything? So there's ways to do things. But it all comes down, guys. I'm going to change this caption. I hope everybody's got the information. And like I said, folks, if you're joining me for the first time, I do have my YouTube channel. The QR code's in the upper right-hand corner. Please scan that, subscribe. I'll be up in New York doing a heavy-duty rehabilitation on a resource guarding dog. I will be putting up videos of the training, probably going live on some of the training. You're going to get the most transparent training you will ever see because I don't like cutting, editing. I have no patience to edit any videos I take, so they go up raw. Whatever I do, I'm proud enough and confident enough that it will help you guys. So if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please scan that QR code while I'm pulling up my next thing. Hello, Ventina. Um, so on the bottom here, guys, I said energy is the most important communication we have with our animals. The words are great, makes us feel good. We talk to our dogs. But I said this in the very beginning of tonight's episode. I carry my training bag. I have my leashes in there. I have different tools that I use in there that I may need, whatever. The best tool I have in that training bag is not in that training bag, it's my energy. That calm confidence. Dogs respect it instantly. Um, and again, I don't know if Will's still watching, so I'm going to pick on him a little bit again. Will lives next door to my daughter. I was over there for Easter Sunday. Ace was out. I walked to the fence. I got to the fence. Ace instantly sat down. I didn't have to ask him to. He sat down because he knew by my energy that's what I expected him to do. Sit down, be calm. Once he's calm, I'll give him all the affection in the world because he earned it. Yep. So I haven't said anything bad about you yet, Will, so we're okay. And Will, if I'm saying something that's not true, put it in the comments. Because guys, I want to be transparent. Ace understands my energy. From the time I first met him, he respected my energy. And what is my energy? It's calm, confident. I tell people all the time when I work with them, when I discipline a dog, I don't. I will. When I discipline a dog, I make my 6'5" frame 7 foot tall. Well, I can't do that really, but it's the energy I want to put out. So my energy is speaking for me. And yes, I use the words because I'm human, but I've trained deaf dogs. They don't hear me. I still talk to them, but what do they hear? They hear my energy. My energy speaks so much louder than I do. That calm confidence speaks volumes. But guess what? So does anger and frustration. It's just a negative volume. Calm confidence is positive. It's a positive reward for a dog. Because when I'm calm and I'm confident and I'm happy with what that dog does, they know it. That's a better positive reward than giving a filet mignon to a dog. They want to please us. So we have all these different type of trainers. We have positive reward. We have veterinarian behaviorists. We have balanced dog training. We have this type of training. You know what? I have a back to basics training. It's about based on a balanced training methodology. If you understand dogs, dogs discipline each other. They do. Will sort Zoe disciplined Ace because Ace came to that fence way too excited for Zoe, and Zoe let her growl and snip go. And then I didn't know Zoe and Ace had met. I thought their first introduction was when I was there Sunday. And what I saw is Zoe was by the fence. Ace came running over, realized it was Zoe. He was like, "Whoa, not messing with her," and went back to the door. She respected Zoe. She was a little unsure of Zoe. Zoe's a very alpha dog, um, and they will get together and they will become, be able to coexist in the same yard. When I get back, we'll be working on that. Um, Reason being is Zoe was able to correct Ace quicker than I can, but they discipline each other. They may nip at each other. They're not trying to hurt or scare. They're not giving milk bones to each other to get better behaviors. It's an amazing thing when you watch a dog correct another dog, guys. It is actually beautiful as long as the dog knows how to correct. Some dogs don't. Um, some dogs just don't know how to do it properly. But they're humans. Um, but another dog to get, and I'm going to use a leash reactive dog because that's what the other dog was that I was going to work with. Um, if they're working together in a pack, they're not going to get a milk bone to not react to something else. They're going to get discipline. My other dog corrects them quick. Yeah. If you have two dogs, your other dog's probably telling you this is how you need to handle it. Because your other dog is going to correct them with could be a growl, it could be a look, it could be a nip or a bite, whatever you want to call it. But that none of those corrections your other dog is doing is out of anger or frustration, and it's not designed to hurt, but it's to set the rule. That's unacceptable behavior to the pack mentality. One of the neighbors down the road from me has two dogs. I, you know, haven't had the privilege of working with them, but I did give them some advice. I corrected the one dog, and the other dog chilled. I worked with a lady a couple of weeks ago, months ago, right around the corner from me, who had two dogs. She was convinced it was dog A was causing all the problems, and it was reacting. And there was definitely I could see a bite coming to a human and to another dog, but it wasn't the dog that was actually going forward. It was the dog that was barking out of excitement and nuttiness that was the instigator, and this one happened to be the enforcer. So once I controlled the instigator, the enforcer was like, "Oh, thank God, I don't have to do this." So, Marianne, one of the things I would also ask you is check your other dog. If your other dog is overly excited when it sees another dog, maybe focus on that dog. See if you stop that dog from the excitement, that may help your other dog. Just putting it out there, because I've seen that too many times where I get the phone call for dog A because dog B is good, and dog B is the problem. So I'm not saying it's always, but I've seen it. Um, so guys, um, again, I know we have some people from Maryland. I know somebody from I think it was Phoenix, Arizona. Zoom training is a great tool because then think about it, for 2 hours I'm going to focus on you, and we're gonna go through everything, and we're going to teach you dog psychology because once we understand that these trainers that give up on the dogs, it's not that they're giving up on themselves. They can't do it. I can't tell you how many dogs I've worked with after other trainers that have actually told, these other trainers told people to put their dogs down. And those dogs are living happy, balanced lives today. Because thank God the people didn't listen to them. They reached out to another trainer, happened to be me, and I guided them through it. There was one dog I'll never forget, this little Papillon that I worked with. Was kicked out of a group training class. Lady sat in her car for 45 minutes. Trainer came out and says, we'll have to do an evaluation at your home. Trainer went to the home, did an evaluation, went back to the office. 2 weeks later, still hadn't heard anything. And basically, when the mother reached out to the trainer said, this dog's beyond help. You should put it down. It's going to hurt another dog or a human because it didn't like men and didn't like other dogs. Another trainer actually recommended removing the dog's canines or filing them down. I forgot what exactly it was. My wife happened to work in the same building as her. She saw the lady in the break room hysterical after all this. My wife told her to call me, and my wife actually said, if he can't fix your dog, he won't charge you, which my wife never says. And I went over there, and dog's name happened to be Moses. Moses comes over and tries to bite my feet because I'm a man. And I just went, no, with a loud snap. Moses was like, oh, okay. It's that. Calm confidence. But nobody ever told him no in his language. He bit somebody, people yelled, screamed, bitch, moaned. I did no nonsense. I've been told to rehome him because he hurts me. I have blood cancer and fractured. Oh my lord! But I can't. I keep going with him. Yeah, we let's reach out. Definitely reach out to me. I I'm gonna be driving, so maybe on my way back. I have a couple of days before I have to do anything when I get back, so maybe I can arrange something. We can talk about it, but definitely reach out to me. Hopefully, you got my contact information before. If you're on my Facebook page, Back to Basics Dog Training SC, my contact information is up there. Private message me, text me, email me, whatever's easier for you. Um, we There's got to be a way we can help. He's just misunderstood. Um, Long story short, with Moses, I put him on a leash. He tried biting my feet again. Then I was able to make a slight leash correction. He got it. After that, he was fine with me. What I didn't tell the owners is I had my dog back then, my girl Maddie, around the corner, and we come walking out. I asked the owners to stay in the driveway because I didn't want their energy to be overpowering. I need my energy to be overpowering. We walked. My daughter came around the corner with Maddie. Moses reacted, went for the bite on Maddie. Now, Maddie was probably 50 pounds heavier than her, but if not more. Didn't care. Dogs don't look at size. Um, and because she went for the full bite, I actually grabbed her by her neck, pinned her to the ground, not out of anger or frustration, no nonsense. And I just held her there until she calmed down. Maddie stayed right there. And once she was calm, I let her go. And we went for a 2 mile pack walk, and she never thought about going after Maddie or another dog ever again. She never went after me. And as a matter of fact, I had her in my house when mom and dad went on vacation with me and my family. And I think at that time, 6 or 7 other dogs were at my house. And Moses had a great time. Matter of fact, my mother in law loved Moses. Um, he just wanted somebody to tell him how he's supposed to react towards men and towards other dogs. He was confused. But meanwhile, we had other people in my industry saying, put the dog down and file its teeth. Kind of scares the crap out of me. So, guys, just because when a trainer, in my experience, tells you your dog can't be helped, they just don't know how to help your dog. Please reach out to somebody else. If they right away try to push medication on your dog, look for a different trainer. I won't work on it with a dog that's on medication. I am not working with a stone dog. You want me to work with your dog that's on trazodone or whatever it is? Wean them off for 2 weeks and I'll come and work with the dog. I will not work with a dog on drugs. It's not fair to the dog. They are 99.9% misunderstood. And if we guide them through this, we can move them forward. Because all they look for is proper leadership today. What the mistakes they made yesterday doesn't matter to them. What happened to them yesterday doesn't matter to them. They're looking for leadership today, and they will follow that calm, confident leadership to the end of the earth. We just got to get them there, and my job is to get you there. So with that being said, guys, we're at, wow, 50 minutes. Tonight's flying. See, I told you, I get pumped with all this stuff. I hope you guys feel this through the screen and you feel my passion for what I do and my goal to help you guys. Um, because truly, and I did say this earlier in my conversations with you guys, my goal is together that we can help one dog and one family at a time. And that doesn't mean North Carolina, South Carolina, Long Island. That means across the country and around the world. So please continue to share me. Every Friday, every Tuesday evening, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I am here. I am public service announcement. Next Tuesday night, I'm not. That's travel night for me up north. I'm not going to be broadcasting next Tuesday. But then again, I also do my live broadcasts every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That will continue. So I'll be here this Saturday. I'll be there next Saturday. And then the following Tuesday, I will not be broadcasting. Please have your group share it. One of the things I paid for Zoom, guys, for the rescue groups specifically, because I've held seminars for rescue groups to help the fosters move these dogs forward. So helping fosters understand their job is not only to provide shelter for these dogs, but to guide these dogs for the next stage of their life, the next step of their lives, which is by learning how to set clear rules, boundaries, and limitations in the foster's home. So when they get to their forever home, they stay. Because if the fosters help them, they flourish. Bonnie, I don't know if you're still watching, but I know you and I have worked together a lot. We did it with Duke. Um, we definitely, help. We are AGC Fundraiser Village. We fundraise for rescues. That's great. More rescues we can help, more dogs we save. You know, my goal is to help balance the dogs. I don't care if rescue people rescue dogs. We know they've gone through some traumatic experiences in the past, most of them. We can't live there because we're making them live there. If you purchase a dog, they still need to be balanced. Just because you purchase them doesn't mean they're perfect. They need clear rules, boundaries, and limitations from day one coming into the homes. Be it you're purchasing a new puppy, or you're rescuing a dog, or you're fostering a dog. If we start from day one, so that clear rules, boundaries, and limitations, our shelters won't be so full. These dogs won't be returned to the rescue groups because they're out of control. So together we can help one dog and one family at a time. But it starts with us. So with that being said, guys, Marianne, I'm looking forward to hopefully hearing from you. Um, we're going to wrap it up for the evening because we're almost at an hour mark, and some of us still have to eat dinner. Um, his tummy's growling a little bit. So with that being said, guys, thank you for inviting me into your homes each and every Tuesday evening. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be here with you, sharing some of my knowledge. And if you guys can help your dogs, I'm in my glory. With that being said, guys, as always, stay healthy, stay safe, God bless, and remember, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. I'll see you Saturday morning at 11 o'clock.